Welcome on the Saltien platform. Today we're going to talk about a pretty cool solution, and it's about wave energy converter concepts. And it's a great way to produce electricity without CO2 emission. So I am pleased to meet Heikki Paakkinen. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. And you?
Heikki, you are the founder of Wello, based in Finland, and that is developing the penguin concept.
Yes, we are developing.
So penguin, yeah. I don't know how to pronounce that. So we're going to talk about it in a minute, but first of all, my first question is a bit more about your story. So can you tell us how you went into wave energy converter concept? Like, how did it come out?
Yeah, it's a funny thing. For some peculiar reason, I've been always interested in waves and wave energy, and I've been developing devices and gadgets since I was a kid, and I used to construct different types of boats, and the intention was to create a wave propulsion to these devices or these boats. Well, I actually succeeded with those as well, but then later on I thought that it would be better to focus to energy production instead of propulsion, and so somehow I just got stuck with the idea, and all through my life I've been actually doing this as a hobby.
So did you have a work on the side? Like, what did you do as a day job as well? Like, what's
Yeah, I studied techniques and architecture, and I had my own office and designing constructions and buildings and special construction and tension membrane constructions and such things. So some special architecture and engineering.
So may I ask, do you sail in Finland inside?
Yeah, I've been sailing in Finland, and sailing and boats and all that has been very interesting to me all the time. So I've been sailing in different places, and I think that it's the sea and the waves and the nature, wind, of course, as well. So
when you're on a sailing boat, you can tend to move in different ways and actually get pretty sick for some people. I know that happened, and we tried, like, I know manufacturer tried to lessen that to reduce the, how you call that? I don't remember, but the rolling of the boats. And actually, you're like, no, I'm gonna use it.
Yeah, it's true. This is pretty much the opposite. So we are trying to develop a device that has extreme movements, and once you have big inclinations and accelerations, then you have a lot of energy there to extract.
Can you go further a bit about the concept of the penguin, how it works, and like? Yeah,
the idea. Well, the reason why it's called penguin is actually that it looks a bit like penguin, and also it moves a bit like a penguin, especially when penguin is walking. It reminds the movement and the shape of the floating hull is it looks a bit like an animal. There is actually a wing and an asymmetric construction, which then results to this movement, as this specific movement called gyration, which is kind of a rotating inclination. Okay. And that movement is very efficient for turning an eccentric mass, which is positioned inside the device, and that mass again keeps on turning the generator, which is positioned on the same shaft. So it's direct drive directly from the eccentric mass to the generator. So there are no gears, no hydraulics, nothing. It's just this one moving thing inside the device. So it's very simple, and it's very efficient for energy production and turning the generation, and also makes things easy when everything is based on rotation. So you can.
Yeah. And how big can be the concept, like the concept, like the penguin?
Yeah, the devices that we have constructed are in the length of the devices is roughly 30 to 40 meters. What we have done, it could be bigger. So we can in big oceans, it could be 50 meters and something like that. And then the power of the device would be something between 1 to 2 megawatts in the big devices. A good depth for these devices is something around 50 meters. Okay. It can be plus minus a bit more or a bit less, but that gives an idea of the magnitude. And then that finally defines the distance to the shore.
Listen, like it's quite easy to build as a the penguin is quite easy to build. Would you say that?
So look, the idea is that the hull construction is built at a shipyard. So it's like constructionally, it's practically the same as a steel boat, like a fishing boat. Mm-hmm. So similar constructions and similar building methods. So it can be built at shipyards, and then the rest is practically similar to a wind turbine. Okay. Wind turbine interior. There's similar generators, similar components, but the power conversion, all that. It's wind turbine components.
Great, I love that. So this side, but can you tell a bit more about the benefits?
If you compare to other forms of energy, like first of all, wave energy is it's an interesting form of energy as an addition to other renewables. The good things in wave energy are that well, first of all, it's more continuous. That in an ocean, there's practically always waves, so there's always some energy available there.
Yeah.
Of course, it has the variation, but it's practically never zero. Practically always at least some energy available. So it makes a good combination with other renewables. Mm. And then also one important issue is that once you are constructing the energy parks offshore, you don't need to reserve land for that. Wave energy, once deployed further offshore, like in our case, it's typically something like 1 kilometer from the shoreline. It's like small vessels or fishing boats floating there, and typically people don't consider that anything negative, but it can be something beautiful. It's just something floating there in the sea, and I would say that's an important aspect, that deploying these wave energy parks, you can bring them close to big cities, and you don't have this visual problem as you have with other, typically with other renewables.
That could be very useful on islands, to see the proximity on the islands to produce electricity. It could work.
And then also we are talking about islands, that there's this thing that these devices you can tow to the site, so that you don't need any. You don't need big roads, you don't need big cranes or any machinery for constructing, but it's just towing. So you construct it at the nearest shipyard, then you tow it with a tugboat or a workboat.
About the marine life, does it affect the marine life, or is...
We haven't detected any negative impact. One aspect there's actually fish seem to like staying under these devices and around these devices, so it can have a positive effect to the number of fish. And but other than that, we haven't actually detected. It's practically noiseless, and then as a floating construction moored to the seabed, it just doesn't change the nature of the surrounding that much. It's very simple.
I saw in 2011 you did the first test, is it right, of the penguin in Scotland?
Yeah, the full scale, first full scale. So before that, we had, of course, had several small scale and mid scale testing. But 2011, we had the first full scale device deployed in Scotland. During that time, there were several storms, and the biggest waves were around 18 meters. So it's been in real high seas and survived and managed that. So that's a good proof of how this finally this simple and sturdy construction is possible to make or to construct, so that it can stand this kind of extreme weather conditions.
I totally get it, yeah. And now I read that it's going to be tested in
Basque country,
in
Spain,
Basque.
Bay of Biscay. Yeah, it's just a bit more advanced shape, which results to higher power and then more optimized components and keep on increasing the power that way. So those means combined result to I would say much lower price of energy in near future. So we just must keep on doing that simultaneously. Okay. Even though we are actually negotiating commercial projects at the moment, and we have a really extensive pipeline of projects waiting, around 300 megawatts at the moment.
Whoa!
And there are a lot of customers. They are most of them they are waiting for results of this coming deployment, and then after that, I'm sure there will be several projects initiated after these results once we have proven where we are. And so there should be a lot of interesting things happening in the very near future, and in a couple of years we should be very competitive all around the globe in every location along the coastlines. So there's a huge market there.
I reckon, yeah, I see that. So we'll see improvement on there.
Yeah. And it should have a big impact. We can really replace diesel generation, which is the typical situation. Many of our customers they're generating with diesel, and they are looking for more economical choices, and also the environmentally better solutions. And this is the typical situation.
And so, how can we help you to bring it forward? Like, is there something we can do to help you?
Well, I would say that the thing that slows down our progress is funding. So that's the thing that we have been struggling with, and if we had more funding, we could develop faster. We could reach these coming steps faster. We could do the technology development, put more effort to technology development, and be fast. So I would say that's the main issue. So typically the customers, they are waiting for us to provide a ready solution.
I see. I totally don't understand it. So guys, if you hear us, come over. Actually, what's the best way to reach you? Is it like by email or through the website?
Yeah, by mail, by calling. All the contact information is at our website, so you can check it there. And we are really open to all contacts and all ideas, inquiries. We are trying to serve the customers very efficiently. We have the software for calculating the cost of energy. We pretty easily can produce the calculations for all different requirements, and so business ideas and funding ideas are very welcome as well.
Awesome. Well, I'll put your contact below the video for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your time today. Thanks for all this great knowledge and to learn more about the concept of the penguin.
Yeah.
A question that is quite related more to the ocean, but what would you wish for the ocean in the future?
For the ocean, yeah. I think, I don't know what I would wish, but I can see there a big potential, something that has not been explored. So it's more than half of the world, and we don't seem to know anything about it, and it provides a huge opportunity. All this energy, food products, and then of course, well, spare time enjoying the ocean, clean water. I hope it will stay clean, and it will stay available for everybody to enjoy, and so that we don't destroy it like humans have done in so many other surroundings. But I hope we can keep the oceans clean and in original shape, with all the animals and creatures and fish that are living there, that they can do well there.
Yeah, thank you. Wow, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Nice talking.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
So guys, we know by bringing more and more the renewable energy production will help reducing the CO2 emission for sure, and directly reduce the CO2 absorption pressure on the ocean that creates its acidification actually. So wave energy is a great solution to produce electricity with no CO2 emission. It can be a great idea in remote places like islands, where we use actually fuel to produce electricity. So if you like the technology, if you want to share more, don't hesitate to share the video, and as well to reach out to us or to Heikki to know a bit more about the penguin, and we'll be very pleased to talk to you guys, and I'll thank you for sharing your time today, and I'll see you next time.